Hi! In the previous videos, you have learned how to solve homogeneous, linear, constant coefficient differential equations. In this video, I will teach you how to solve non-homogeneous equations of the same type. But make sure, before watching this video, you already know how to solve homogeneous equations because that's necessary for this topic. But the focus of this video is how to use the method of undetermined coefficient in obtaining the solution of non-homogeneous LCCDEs. So, in this video, I will solve 5 sample problems and leave you with some exercises for you to practice on. So, if you're ready, let's get started. Let us consider the non-homogeneous LCCDE. That can be written in this form. Okay, so last time, when we were solving homogeneous LCCDEs, this term was 0. But this time, this term now exists. Okay, so on the right-hand side of the equation, we have f of x, and this f of x contains all the terms involving the independent variable x. Because here, the independent variable is x. But if in the case that the independent variable is time, because the derivative is dy over dt, then this term would be f of t. And it contains all terms involving the independent variable t. So how do we get the solution of a non-homogeneous LCCDE? The general solution of a non-homogeneous LCCDE consists of two parts. It has what we call YC and YP. So this YC is called the complementary function, or sometimes we call it the complementary solution. And on the other hand, YP is called the particular integral. Okay, so do not confuse this YP with a particular solution. So the particular solution is a solution which does not contain any arbitrary constants. However, in this general solution, this YP represents the particular integral. And the particular integral is just a component or a part of the general solution. So, how do we get the complementary solution? This complementary solution is simply the solution of the homogeneous differential equation. And that is our previous topic. So, ang gagawin mo, this f of x, gawin mo lang siyang 0. Ano? If this f of x is 0, homogeneous na siya, isolve mo siya, yung solution ng homogeneous equation, yun na yung YC. Diba? Madali lang. That's our previous topic. Paano kumuha ng homogeneous solution. Now, the majority or focus of our topic in this video is how to solve for YP. And again, this YP is the particular integral. So, in this video, I will teach you how to solve this YP using a method called MUC. And this MUC stands for the method of undetermined coefficient. So, after mong makuha yung YP, you can simply add these two. No? You add the complementary solution and the particular integral so you can have your general solution. Now, if you are given some initial conditions, then you can obtain a particular solution. If you apply the initial conditions given, you can solve for the values of the arbitrary constant so you can obtain a particular solution. So later, I will solve an example which involves an initial value problem kung saan makakakuha tayo ng isang particular solution. Okay? So now, pag-aralan muna natin paano ba ginagawa itong MUC or the method of undetermined coefficients. So this method applies only for differential equations that are linear having constant coefficients. So mahalaga yan. And because we are considering only linear constant coefficient differential equations, thus, MUC is applicable. Now, not only that, MUC can only be used when f of x is a polynomial, exponential, sine, or cosine functions. Ayan. So, magagamit mo lang ang MUC kapag ang f of x mo ay ganitong klaseng functions or possibly a combination of these functions. Okay? Now, paano ba ginagawa itong MUC? Sa MUC, yung iyong YP or particular integral ay nakadepende sa given f of x. MUC works by having the solution YP which resembles the given f of x, which means that kapag halimbawa ang iyong f of x ay exponential, yung YP na gagamitin mo exponential din. Kung ang f of x mo ay sine or cosine functions, then your YP should also be sine or cosine functions. And also, if your f of x is polynomial, then the form of your YP should also be polynomial. O, diba? Madali lang. Ngayon, paano ba ito ginagawa? Okay, so let us discuss the step-by-step procedure kung paano masosolve yung non-homogeneous LCCDE. First, di ba kailangan natin ng YC? So, isosolve mo muna yon. Obtain YC from the homogeneous equation because that is the first step. No? Kasi this YC is part of the general solution of the non-homogeneous LCCDE. Nung makuha mo na yung YC, i-compare mo siya ngayon sa f of x. Okay? You compare YC and f of x. Now, if this f of x is not similar to any terms in YC, then YP would take the form of f of x, which means that if f of x is not similar to any terms in YC, ang ibig sabihin lang niyan, yung YP mo kamukha ng f of x. At yun na yung sinasabi ko sa inyo kanina, no? Kung walang term sa f of x na kamukha ng kahit na anong term sa complementary solution, then ang YP magiging kamukha lang ng f of x. Kaya sabi ko kanina, kung ang f of x ay exponential, dapat ang YP exponential din. Now that you have YP, the next thing to do is to solve for the unknown coefficient. Sir, bakit may unknown coefficient? Kasi po, kapag ikaw ay may YP, yung YP mo dyan, kung yan ay exponential, yung kanyang coefficient natin, i-represent muna natin initially as an unknown coefficient. Kaya siya tinawag na undetermined coefficient because there is an unknown coefficient which must be determined. And paano natin malalaman ang value ng unknown coefficient? Because we are assuming that YP is a solution of the DE, then it has to satisfy the DE. O, yun lang yun. Paano natin malalaman kung ang YP ay magsasatisfy sa DE? I-substitute mo lang siya dun sa differential equation. And by means of equating coefficients, malalaman mo na yung mga unknown coefficient. Okay? So, madali lang yan. So, baka ngayon hindi mo lang siya masyadong nagigets kasi wala pa tayong example. Pero bago tayo mag-solve ng mga examples, tuturuan ko muna kayo. Paano ba mag-assign ng YP kung may given f of x? Okay? So, from the given f of x, dapat maka-come up muna tayo sa ating particular integral na nagtataglay ng unknown coefficient. Okay? So, now here are the rules. If your f of x is exponential, for example, it has the form a, e raised to bx, where a is the coefficient and b is a constant multiplier of x. Halimbawa, ito ay 2. No? Or 5 or negative 1. Kung ano man yung a na yan, papalitan mo lang siya ng isang unknown coefficient. For example, capital letter A. And you just copy the rest. Itong e to the bx, kokopyahin mo lang. So madali lang. Ano? Yan ang sinasabi ko kanina na kung ano ang form ng f of x, ganun din ang itsura ng YP. Okay? Again, that is applicable only if no term in f of x is similar to any terms in YC. Now, what if your f of x is a linear function? For example, ax plus b. So, di ba, polynomial siya? Your YP should also be polynomial. Papalitan mo lang to ng isang unknown coefficient, capital letter A, at ito, papalitan mo lang din ng isang constant na capital letter B. So, yan ngayon yung dalawang unknown coefficients na kailangan mong hanapin. Again, kaya sa tinawag na method of undetermined coefficients because there are unknown coefficients initially in your YP that requires to be solved or determined. Now, let us have some more. What if this becomes a quadratic function? Kung quadratic function yan, di tatlong terms din yung makukuha mong YP. So, palitan mo lang to ng isang unknown coefficient, capital letter A, And then ito capital letter B at capital letter C, for example. Sir, what if in my f of x, I only have this term, ax squared? Wala itong dalawang ito. So you can assume that the value of B and the value of C are both 0. So still they have values. The values are 0. Kaya sa YP mo, kahit these terms do not exist, kasi ito lang ang makikita mo sa f of x, tatlo pa rin ang katumbas niyan na YP. Tatlong terms pa rin yan. So kagaya rin dito, even if your f of x contains only one term, ax, your YP should also have two terms, ax plus b. Again, even if your b here is 0. Now, what if my f of x contains a sine or a cosine? Halimbawa, f of x is a cosine kx. Papalitan mo lang yung coefficient na a ng capital letter A. Pero, dadagdagan mo yan ng isa pang term, b sine kx. So, whether your f of x contains only the cosine or just the sine function, your YP is always a sum of sine and cosine. Kahit pa sine lang yan, dalawa pa rin yung katumbas niyang YP. Either cosine or sine, you still have a sum of cosine and sine in your YP containing two unknown coefficients, A and B. Now, what if I have a combination of e to the ax and cosine x? Kung cosine yan, di ba dapat ang makukuha mo dito is sum of cosine and sine? Yes. So, applicable pa rin yun. However, your f of x contains an exponential. Kaya yung cosine at sine mo dito, imumultiply mo lang din ng exponential. So, magiging ganito siya ngayon. Di ba? So, that is applicable whether you have a cosine function or sine. Mali ito. Dapat ito ay sine kx. Okay? So, if you have an f of x, which is a product of an exponential and a cosine function, your YP should have this form. A product of an exponential and a sum of cosine and sine terms. Parang ito lang, no? Mumultiplyan mo lang ng e to the ax kasi yung original mong cosine kx ay minultiply ng e raised to ax. O, di ba madali lang? So, sobrang dali lang yan, promise. Now, para ma-realize nyo kung gaano kadali mag-solve ng YP gamit ang MUC, mag-solve na tayo ng mga examples. Number 1, solve the equation y triple prime minus 3y prime minus 2y equals 3x. So, the first step to solve this non-homogeneous LCCDE is to come up with an auxiliary equation para makompute mo muna yung complementary function or homogeneous solution. So, ano ang auxiliary equation para sa DE na ito? Its auxiliary equation is m cubed minus 3m minus 2 equals 0. So, since this is cubic function, may makukuha tayong tatlong roots dapat. And para makuha yung roots na yan, gamit na lang tayo ng calculator. So, mode 5. And then just the quadratic 1, 4. And let's input the coefficients. For the cubic term, the coefficient is 1. Then for the quadratic term, wala naman naka-square, so 0. Next, for the first degree term, negative 3. And for the constant term, it's negative 2. Okay. So, 2, negative 1, and ay dalawa lang. Okay, so 2 and negative 1. So, the calculator only gave us two values. M1 is equal to 2 and M2 equals negative 1. But since this is cubic, dapat tatlo yan. Ano pa yung M3? Kung dalawa lang values ang ibinigay ng calculator, that means yung isa sa kanila ay repeated. No? Pwedeng ang repeated ay negative 2 or pwedeng ang repeated ay positive 2 or negative 1. So, paano natin malalaman kung alin sa kanilang dalawa ang repeated? I-divide natin ito ng factor niya. Di ba yung known factor niya is m minus 2? Kasi ang root ay equal sa 2 eh. So, if we divide this by m minus 2, ang matitira is yung quadratic function na pwede natin ulit i-factor. So, sigurado ako ang isang factor doon ay negative 1. Yung matitirang factor, yun yung hinahanap natin na M3. Okay? So, let's do that. Now, paano natin yan ifa-factor? Gamit tayo ng tinatawag na synthetic division. Kopyahin ko lang yung coefficients in order of decreasing power. So, 1. and then 0 para sa quadratic term, negative 3 para dito, and then yung constant term is negative 2. So kung i-divide natin yan ng m minus 2, ang gagamitin natin dito is 2, yung root na mismo yung ilalagay natin. Tapos, lagyan lang natin ng horizontal line and then bring down 1, multiply, so 2, and then add 2, 2 times 2 is 4, and then you add also 1, 1 times 2 is 2, yan. So, sakto 0. Kaya nga, yung makukuha nating quadratic function dito, yan ay pwede nating i-factor. Ano ang factors ng 1 na ang sum ay 2? Diba? 1 times 1. So, dalawang 1 yan. M plus 1 at saka M plus 1 uli. Kaya, pag ini-equate mo sa 0 yung M plus 1 times M plus 1, ang makukuha mong root ay dalawang negative 1. So, ito na yung isa. Therefore, ang hinahanap natin na root, yung pangatlo, M3, that is also negative 1. So, negative 1 yung repeated, di ba? And now that we know the values of M1, M2, and M3, pwede na tayong makakuha ng complementary function or homogeneous solution. And that's YC. So, here, YC is, for the first term, we have C1 e raised to, ano yung root? 2. So, 2x plus, okay, itong negative 1 ay repeated. For the first negative 1 root, its corresponding solution is C2 e raised to negative x. But since it's repeated, ang gagawin natin is kokopyahin natin to, papalitan lang natin yun ng C3, di ba? At imumultiply natin ng x. So, C3x e raised to negative x. Again, we multiply this by x so that these terms would be linearly independent, which is a requirement kapag kumukuha ka ng solution ng homogeneous LCCDE. So, meron na tayong YC. Next is YP. Ano ang particular integral para dito? Ano ang form niya? For YP, okay, look at the f of x given. The f of x given is 3x. So, ang corresponding YP niyan ay ax plus b. Sir, kahit 3x lang? Yes. Di ba kanina binanggit ko na, you can assume na dito, ang constant term ay 0. Okay? So, dalawang terms pa rin siya. Kaya, yung YP mo, ax plus b pa rin. Now, let us compare. Baka tayo ay may komplikasyon dito. Meron bang term sa YP na kamukha dito? Wala naman. So, kung wala, you can proceed. Hanapin mo na yung values ng a at saka b. Paano? We will let this YP satisfy the differential equation. So, dapat kuhanin mo muna yung Y prime, Y double prime, at saka Y triple prime. So, paano yan? Madali lang. Kuhanin mo yung Y prime, YP prime equals A lang yan, di ba? Tapos yung YP double prime, derivative ng constant is 0. Kapag kinompute mo yung YP triple prime, 0 pa rin yan. And since this YP is a solution of the differential equation, it has to satisfy the equation. That is why we will substitute. Yung Y triple prime, 0 yon. Tapos minus 3 times Y prime. Ito yung Y prime mo, A. Minus 2 times Y. Your Y is this, yung YP. So, AX plus B equals 3x. So, by means of equating the coefficients, we can now get the values of a and b. So, here, the coefficient of x is negative 2a. Diba? Tapos sa kabila, ang coefficient ng x ay 3. That is why negative 2a must be equal to 3. And because of that, the value of a is negative 3 halves. Diba? Madali lang. And here, the constant terms are negative 3a, eto pa, minus 2b. And on the other side, here, we do not have any constant term, so 0. So if you want to solve for the value of b, that is just 3 halves of a. Okay? So b is equal to negative 3 halves of a. And we already know the value of a. So negative 3 halves times negative 3 halves, the value of b is equal to 9 over 4. So, meron na tayo ngayong values ng a at saka b na pwede nating ilagay dito. At para makuha natin ang general solution, i-add mo lang yung YC at saka YP mo. Okay? So, now pwede na tayong magkaroon ng general solution. Sulat natin dito. General solution. So the general solution is the sum of yc and yp. Kopyahin ko lang to. C1 e raised to 2x plus C2 e raised to negative x plus C3 x e raised to negative x plus yp, kung saan ang value ng a ay negative 3 halves. So negative 3 halves x plus b na ang value ay 9/4. So that's it. We now have our general solution. Di ba madali lang? So, meron tayong general solution which contains 3 arbitrary constants, C1, C2, and C3. So, since wala naman tayong initial conditions na given, hanggang general solution lang ang makukuha natin. But again, what are the initial conditions required so we can solve for C1, C2, and C3? You need also 3 initial conditions. What are they? Y of 0, kailangan mo ng y prime of 0, and y double prime of 0 para ma-solve yung tatlong yan. No? Kung given yan, medyo komplikado yung problem. No? Mas hahaba yung solution mo kasi kukunin mo pa yung values ng C1, C2, and C3. So, more likely, sa quiz nyo, ganyan. Okay? Let us solve another example. Example number 2. So, we have here, y double prime plus y prime equals cosine x plus 4e to the negative x. First step, auxiliary equation. Ano ang auxiliary equation ng d na ito? Madali lang. M squared plus m equals 0. Diba? Factorable yan. Kasi common factor ang m. M times m plus 1 equals 0. And what are our roots? Madali lang din. Yung roots niyan, m1 para dito is equal to 0. And for this one, m2 is equal to negative 1. So we have 2 distinct roots, right? At dahil meron tayong dalawang distinct roots, makakakuha na tayo ng yc or complementary solution. Yc is, for the first root which is 0, e to the 0 is 1. So we will have a constant c1. Remember, kapag may root ka na equal sa 0, may constant na term na makukuha sa solution. Plus, for this root, we have c2 e raised to negative x. Ayan, meron na tayong yc. The next step is to come up with your yp. Ano ang i-assign mo na expression para sa particular integral na yp? Tingnan natin. Yung f of x ay sum ng dalawang terms, cosine x. So kung cosine x lang yan, di ba kapag cosine or sine, either cosine or sine, dapat ang yp ay sum ng cosine at sine. So for this cosine x, our yp should be a times cosine x plus b times sine x. How about for this exponential, e to the negative x? Here, dapat kagaya niya yung form ng yp. So, dapat dito, lalagyan mo ng c. Kasi nagamit na natin yung a at b. So, c e raised to negative x. Now, you will compare these two. Baka kasi may nagkagaya dyan. So, wala namang constant dito. And then ito, e to... Ay, shit! Itong term na ito at itong term na ito similar. 'Di ba? So, kung similar silang dalawa, pag kinuha ko ang general solution na i-add ang dalawa, yc at yp, itong dalawang terms na ito similar. Meaning they are linearly dependent. Which should not be the case. Bakit? Kailangan kasi lahat ng terms doon sa general solution mo ay linearly independent. Kaya ang gagawin natin is, imumultiply natin ito ng x. Kagaya nung ginagawa natin kapag homogeneous solution. Para hindi magkagaya yung dalawang terms, nagmumultiply tayo ng x. Again, that is to observe linear independence. So, yan ang tinatawag natin na modification rule. Again, if in your yc, there is a term that is similar to a term in yp, you modify yp by multiplying it with x. So halimbawa, na-multiply mo ng x, meron pa rin kagaya, i-multiply mo pa ulit ng x hanggang hindi na sila magkamukha. Okay? So now, we have yp. The next step is to get y prime and y double prime. Kunin ko muna yung yp prime. Okay, derivative ng a cosine x. Basta may cosine, matic negative yan. Negative of a and then sine x. Plus, Derivative ng sine is cosine. B, cosine x. Ito naman, cx e to the negative x, di ba? Pwede ko siyang palitan. Palitan ko para hindi kayo malito. Gawin ko na lang siyang cx e to the negative x. Ano ang derivative niyan? So, for its derivative, dapat dalawang terms kasi product siya. Okay? Negative to, so dapat minus. Cx e raised to negative x. Tapos, derivative niya, no? C lang times e to the x plus c times e raised to negative x. So, we now have the first derivative. Next, we get the second derivative, yp double prime. Derivative nito, that's negative a cosine x. Uy, cosine dapat negative. Negative b times sine x. Tapos ito, dalawang terms ulit. Negative, negative, positive. So, cx e raised to negative x minus, derivative nito is negative c, and then e raised to negative x. Tapos yung derivative kasi nito ay negative ce to the negative x. Ito rin yun. Kaya, it would be better na pagsamahin ko na lang. Ilagay ko na lang dito. Gawin ko na lang siyang minus 2. Ayan, pinagsama ko na. So, we now have the expressions for y prime and y double prime. Para malaman natin ang values ng a at saka b, ang gagawin natin is, isa-substitute lang natin siya dito. So, that means i-add mo lang siya. Kapag inad natin ang y double prime at y prime, ito yun. Y p double prime plus yp prime equals, okay, yung cosine terms, pagsasamahin natin. So, dapat negative a plus b. Diba? Kasi similar sila. Negative a plus b. Tapos, multiplyan mo ng cosine x. Para naman sa sine, dito negative b. Ito negative a. So, parehas negative. So, gawin ko na lang siyang negative of a plus b. Ayan. Tapos, sine x. Next, para dito, itong dalawang terms magka-cancel pag inad mo. Bakit i-add? Ayun ang sabi niya, i-add. I-add raw. Magka-cancel. At ito naman, negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. So, negative c e raised to negative x. Okay, so nagawa na natin to. Saan daw siya equal? Equal siya sa cosine x plus 4e to the negative x. So, by means of equating coefficients, we can determine the values of a, b, and c. So, here, the coefficient of cosine is negative a plus b. Sa kabilang side, ang coefficient ng cosine ay 1. So, meron na tayong unang equation. Next, dito ang coefficient ng sine ay negative a minus b. Negative a minus b. Sa kabila, wala ka namang cosine term. Diba? Or sine term rather. So, that means 0. Ayan. So, kapag inad natin ang dalawang equations na to, magka-cancel yung b. Kaya negative 2a is equal to 1. And therefore, the value of a is negative 1/2. Right? Madali lang. Next, for the value of c, itong e to the negative x, ang coefficient ay negative c. At dito, ang coefficient ng e to the negative x ay 4. That is why c equals negative 4. Ayan. So, dahil meron na tayong values ng a, may makukuha na rin tayong value ng b. B, from this equation, is just the negative of a. Kaya ang b ay positive 1/2. Meron na tayong values ng a, b, and c. Mafi-fill up na natin yung a, b, c dito sa yp. And therefore, kung may yp ka na, i-add mo lang siya sa yc, makukuha mo na ang general solution. Okay? So, kung dito ko isusulat yon hindi kasya. Ano? Kaya dito ko na lang isusulat ang ating general solution sa taas. So, for the general solution, we have y equals, yung yc muna, the constant c1 plus, etong pangalawang term, c2e raised to negative x plus yung yp. So, for yp, we have a and b. Both are equal to 1/2. Diba? Yung isa positive, yung isa negative. Unahin ko na lang yung positive, yung b. Okay? Unahin ko yung b para common factor na yung 1/2. 1/2 of sine x minus yung a na cosine x. Ayan. Tapos, yung c. na ang c ay equal sa negative 4. So, minus 4 times x e raised to negative x. So, there you go guys. This is now the general solution of this differential equation. So, yun pala, no? Kapag ka ang f of x mo ay sum ng dalawang terms, yung yp mo, makakaroon din ng sum, no? Sum of the corresponding yp for both functions. So, ito yung yp para sa cosine, at ito yung yp para doon sa exponential. Nag-multiply lang tayo ng x to observe linear independence kasi kung yan ay c e to the negative x, magiging kamukha niya yung c2 e to the negative x dito. No? So if they are similar terms, what we do to observe linear independence is multiply this, the redundant term, with x. Diba? Madali lang. Let us solve another example. Example number 3. Oh, this one is an initial value problem. So we have y double prime minus y equals x. Given that y of 0 is 1 and y prime of 0 equals 0. And because this is an initial value problem, our final answer should be a particular solution. Diba? So dapat ang final answer natin walang C1 at walang C2. So to solve this problem, let us start with the auxiliary equation. Ano ang auxiliary equation nito? So that's m squared minus 1 equals 0. So here, what are the roots? Square root of 1. So dalawa yan. Ang m1 ay positive 1 and m2 is negative 1. Diba? Madali lang. Now, may makukuha na tayong complementary solution na yc. yc is C1 e raised to x plus, ito naman, C2 e raised to negative x. So sa exam, meron ka ng 2 points. Madali lang kasi yan, kaya 2 points lang siya sa exam. Diba? Now, for the particular solution, or the particular integral rather, yung yp natin, for yp, so here we have x. Diba? Kapag kaganyan, dalawang terms ang katumbas niya sa yp. Ax plus b pa rin. Kahit na iisang term siya dito. Now, i-compare natin kung may magkamukha. Wala naman. Bakit? Kasi ito polynomial, ito parehas exponential. So, hindi tayo magmo-modification rule. Next, solve for the first derivative. Kasi kailangan mo ang second derivative dito eh. At hindi ka makakarating sa second derivative kung wala kang first derivative. So, this is just a and madali lang. Yung second derivative, 0 yan. Diba? Now, i-substitute natin ang mga ito doon sa given. Y double prime is 0 minus y. Itong y na to is this, yp. Ax plus b equals x. Ayan. So, ang dali-dali. No? Tingin lang, alam mo na yung value ng a. A must be negative 1. And, tingin lang din, b must be 0. Kasi wala namang constant term dito. Diba? Ang dali lang. So, magkakaroon na tayo ngayon ng general solution. So, for the general solution, y equals the sum of this C1 e raised to negative x. Sige, inuna ko na yun kasi nag-negative na siya. Plus C2 e raised to x. Okay lang din yan. Nagkapalit lang sila ng arbitrary constant. Tapos yung yp. Yung a natin ay negative 1. So, minus x. Diba? Yun lang yun. At yung b naman, 0. However, our final answer should not be a general solution kasi nga meron tayong initial conditions. So, ang gagawin mo dyan, hanapin mo muna yung derivative ng y. Kasi kailangan mo yung y prime eh. Diba? So, get the first derivative. The first derivative, y prime, is, ito, negative c1 e to the negative x. Tapos, c2 e raised to x, and then derivative nito, minus 1. Diba? Okay. Now, i-substitute na natin ang mga conditions. Sabi ng condition na to, kapag ang x ay equal sa 0, ang y ay equal sa 1. So, let us impose that. Ito ang gagamitin natin kasi ito yung y. Kapag ito nag-0, c1 na lang. Kapag ito nag-0, yung x, c2 na lang. At ito nag-0, 0 na siya. So, ang makukuha ko lang dyan is c1 plus c2. Diba? Madali lang. Next. Kapag ka ang first derivative daw ay ginamit natin, dito ang x ay 0, ang first derivative ay 0. Diba? Ay, I'm sorry, nakalimutan ko. C1 plus C2 should be equal to 1. Bakit? Kasi po kapag dito ang x ay 0, ang y ay 1. Ayan. So dito ginawa nating 0 yung dalawang x. Ang matitira c1 plus c2. Ano yung y? Ayun no, y equals 1. Diba? Now let's use the first derivative. Kapag ang x ay 0 sa first derivative, may matitira ako dito na negative c1 plus c2 minus 1 equals, saan daw equal ang first derivative? 0. So kung isosolve natin ang dalawang equations na ito simultaneously, magka-cancel yung c1 at may matitira dito na c2. So 2c2 equals, ayan, ito na negative 1 ililipat ko sa kabila, right? Pag nilipat ko doon, 1 plus 1 is 2. Therefore, my c2 is equal to 1. Diba? So ayan, may value na tayo ng c2 dito. Next is to get the value of c1. Ano yung c1 mo? Ang c1 ay 1 minus c2, whose value is 1. Therefore, yung c1 ay 0. So in our solution, this term will vanish in the particular solution. Okay? So isulat na natin ang ating particular solution. So y equals, itong c1 mawawala, right? Kasi ang c1 ay 0. At ito na lang ang matitira, c2, na ang value ay 1. So this will be e raised to x and then minus x. So this is now our particular solution. And this particular solution is our final answer. Di ba madali lang? Sobrang dali. Madali lang. Now, is there a way for us to check if we are correct? Yes. Try mo yung y of 0 equals 1. Ano ba ang y of 0? Y of 0. Tingnan natin. E raised to 0 is 1 minus 0 is equal to 1. O, di ba? Nasatisfy natin siya. Let us see if we will satisfy y prime of 0 equals 0. What is our y prime? Our y prime is e to the x minus 1. And y prime of 0 is e to the 0 is 1 minus 1 is 0. Ayun, nasatisfy natin siya. No? So, knowing na nasatisfy natin yung y of 0 at saka y prime of 0, confident ka na tama ang iyong final answer. Di ba? Ang dali lang. Next, let us solve another example. Example number 4. Solve y double prime plus y equals sin x. O, di ba mukhang simple lang yung given equation natin? So, no matter how simple or complicated that may look like, you will start again with your auxiliary equation. Di ba? M squared plus, so since wala yung derivative, 1 lang siya. Di ba? Equals 0. Oh no, kapag kumuha ka ng m, ang makukuha mo square root ng negative 1, di ba? And what is the square root of negative 1? That is the imaginary unit. Magiging complex yan. Kaya, oh no, so kung yan ay square, dapat dalawa. So plus minus yan. Square root, no? Positive i at saka negative i. Okay? So ngayon ang roots natin, m1 is positive i, and for the second root, we have negative i. So, our roots are imaginary. And special case ito ng case 3. Bakit? Kasi purely imaginary. 0 yung real part. So recall that kapag ang root mo ay m equal to a plus minus bi. Kung saan ang a ang real part at b ang imaginary part. Ano yung format ng general solution mo? Di ba yan ay product ng exponential kung saan yung exponent ng a is yung real part. Tapos kung ano yung b, yan ang kukunan ng sine at cosine. So c1 cosine bx plus c2 sine bx. However, in this example, the real part a is 0. At kung yan ay 0, e to the 0 is 1. So, ang makukuha nating yc para dito is purely cosine and sine. Kasi nga po, yung e raised to 0, kasi 0 ang real part, ay magiging 1 na lang. So, we have c1 times cosine of, ano yung b? So, here, the coefficient is 1, di ba? 1. So, cosine x plus c2 sin x. Yan. Meron na tayo ngayong yc. Next, for yp, we should consider the given f of x which is sin x. Kung sin x yan, dapat ang term natin or yp ay a cosine x plus b sin x. Diba? Okay. However, kung i-compare natin ang dalawang to, magkagaya sila. They look exactly the same. No? So remember, hindi pwedeng magkamukha sila. Kaya ang gagawin natin is modification rule. Imo-modify natin yung yp by multiplying it with x. Again, the reason is linear independence. Now, I will rewrite yp. My yp is now equal to ax cosine x plus bx times sine x. Next, I will get y prime and eventually get y double prime. Nakailangan natin, diba? So, hanapan mo siya ng first derivative. Ano ang first derivative nito? Uy, cosine. Negative na agad yan. Negative of ax sine x plus derivative niya. A na lang and then cosine x. Plus derivative nito. Bx cosine x plus b sine x. Okay. So, since wala naman tayong similar terms dyan, continue lang. Hanapin mo yung second derivative. Ano ang second derivative? Negative a x, derivative ng sine is cosine. Cosine x minus a sine x. Tapos derivative nito, cosine. Minus agad yan. Minus, okay. Minus a sine x. So, isusulat ko na lang siya dito. Diba? Para pagsamahin na lang natin. So, simplified. Minus 2a sine x na lang to. Tapos derivative nito, cosine. Negative ulit yan. No? Negative bx sine of x plus b cosine x. Tapos ito, derivative nito. B cosine x ulit. Dagdag ko na lang siya dito. So, gagawin ko na lang tong 2b cosine x. Yan, meron na tayo ngayong second derivative at saka first derivative. Pero ang kailangan lang natin dito is yung second derivative, di ba? At saka y. Okay, so isulat natin dito ha. So, here, I'm gonna write yp double prime plus yp. Yan yung i-add natin. Equals. So, ito yung i-add natin. Lagyan ko ng asterisk para hindi ka malito. Ito yung i-add mo. So, itong ax cosine x at saka itong negative ax cosine x ay magzi-zero. Magka-cancel yan, right? Pag yan ay nag-cancel, ang matitira na lang is ito, bx sine x. Pag sinama mo siya dito, bx sine x, magka-cancel lang din siya. Diba? Kaya, ang mangyayari niyan is, kasya pala siya dito. Ang matitira na lang is negative 2a sine x at saka ito, plus 2b cosine x equals sine x. Equating coefficients, negative 2a equals 1. Therefore, a is negative 1/2. And obviously here, we do not have any cosine term. So that means that b is 0. Meron ka na ngayong values ng a at saka b. Pwede mo na itong ilagay doon sa yp and eventually pagsamahin itong c at saka yp para makakuha ka na ng general solution mo. O diba? Sulat na natin ngayon ang general solution. General solution is the sum of yc. Ito yon, c1 cosine x plus c2 sine x. Tapos yung a, ang value ng a ay negative 1/2. So, minus 1/2. Tapos ito, kopyahin ko lang yon, x cosine x. Tapos itong term na to mawawala. Bakit? Kasi ang value ng b ay 0. So, that's it. No? This is now our general solution. Yan. So, yung general solution na yan, pwede mong mahanapan ng particular solution kapag ka may given initial conditions ka dito. No? So, yung given initial conditions na hinahanap is, or kailangan, y of 0 at saka y prime of 0 para makompute mo yung C1 at saka C2. Kagaya nung ginawa natin sa previous problem. Pero since wala naman sila, di hanggang general solution ka na lang. Di ba? Madali lang. So, let us solve the last and final example problem for this lecture video. Example number 5. Mukhang simple lang din to. Y double prime minus y equals x squared e raised to x. Kagaya ng sabi ko kanina, kahit gaano pa yan kasimple or kakomplikado, mag-start ka dapat lagi sa auxiliary equation. M squared minus 1 equals 0. So, remember, kung walang prime, walang m. Kasi baka doon ka magkamali no? So, ang roots niyan, positive 1 at negative 1, right? Kaya, ang makukuha mong y, sisigurado ako ay c1 e raised to x plus c2 e raised to negative x. Di ba kagaya yan nung kanina? Parang Problem number 3 ata yan. For this f of x, ano ang corresponding yp? So, kung i-consider ko lang na x squared yan, if I will consider this simply as x squared, my yp should be or consist of 3 terms, right? So, yun yung ax squared plus bx plus c. However, sa totoong buhay, meron kang e to the x. Kaya itong yp, imumultiply mo rin ng e raised to x. Ayan. So, ito na yun yung yp mo. Now, again, compare. Baka may magkagaya. May magkagaya ba? E to the x, e to the... ito. Yung c e to the x at saka c1 e raised to x, magkagaya sila. So, hindi pwede yon, right? So, once again, we will use the modification rule and multiply this with x. Okay, so our modified yp is ax cubed e raised to x. So, magiging cubic na to. Ito magiging quadratic plus bx squared e raised to x plus cx e raised to x. Ayan. We now have our modified yp. Again, gumamit tayo ng modification rule kasi mayroong terms na similar. I-emphasize natin dito yung similar terms. Ito, oh. Yan. At saka ito. Magkamukha sila. So, para ma-avoid natin na sila ay magkamukha and to observe linear independence, kinakailangan mag-multiply tayo ng x. Now, let's get back to the job and solve for the first derivative. Yp prime is, kopyahin ko lang to, ax cubed e raised to x plus, so yung derivative nito, dalawang terms. Differentiate mo ito, 3ax squared times e raised to x. Ganun din yung gagawin mo dun sa sunod na term. Dalawang terms din. Kopyahin mo lang siya. Bx squared e raised to x plus derivative nito, 2bx e raised to x. Derivative niya plus cx e raised to x plus c e raised to x. Okay, next. Kailangan mo ng second derivative. Okay, wait lang. Baka tayo ay may pwedeng pagsamahin na terms dito. Meron bang similar terms? Pwede ba nating i-rewrite yung yp prime natin? Yes, ito kasi walang kagaya. So, ax cubed e to the x lang siya. Plus, alin ang similar terms? Ito, oh, yung x squared e to the x. So, pagsasamahin ko na lang yung 3a plus b. 3a plus b. Then, x squared e raised to x. Plus, yung x e to the x. Ito yon, 2b at saka c. Pwede ko nang i-combine. 2b plus c, x e raised to x. Plus, ito, c e raised to x. O, diba? Mas simple siya. Now, ready na tayo ngayon kuhanin niya ng second derivative. Ano ang kanyang second derivative? Kasi kailangan natin siya dito. Oh. Derivative nito, ito at ito magkagaya lang. So, kopyahin ko lang to. Diba? ax cubed e to the x plus 3ax squared e raised to x. Next, derivative nito. So, first, kopyahin ko muna siya. 3a plus b, x squared e raised to x plus, okay, derivative nito. So, 2 times 3a is 6a. So, we have 6a plus 2b. And then, x na lang e raised to x. Tapos, derivative nito. Okay, kopyahin ko lang muna ulit siya. 2b plus c. Tapos, x e raised to x. Tapos, derivative niya. 2b plus c na lang. Tapos, e raised to x. Tapos, derivative nito, c e raised to x. Diba? O, dito ko na lang ilagay sa taas. Ay, pwede ko na siyang ilagay dito. Kasi yung derivative niya, c e to the x. Diba ito, c e to the x. So, gagawin ko na lang siyang 2b plus 2c e raised to x para masimplex. O, diba? Sakto. Amazing grace. Hagi ako na sana perfect na sakto. One line lang yan. Now, let us substitute yp prime and y here. So, ang gagawin natin is, ima-minus. Ima-minus mo siya. Pag i-minus mo yan, wait lang. Alin ba ang ating ima-minus? Tandaan natin ha. Ito yung ima-minus mo. At saka ito. This minus that. So, itong dalawang terms na to magka-cancel. Gawin na lang natin yung sa kabila. So, we have yp double prime minus yp equals x squared e raised to x. Okay. So, pag ito, minusan mo nun, magka-cancel yung ax cubed e to the x. Tapos, itong x squared e to the x, pwede ba nating pagsamahin? Yes. Actually, pwede ko pa palang isulat or i-rewrite. Okay. I-rewrite muna natin yung yp double prime, no? Para mas simple. Yp double prime, bakit ko i-rewrite? Kasi may mga similar terms na pwede kong pagsamahin, no? Ax cubed e raised to x plus, ano yung may mga x squared? Ito x squared. So 3a plus 3a is 6a. And then plus b. So we have 6a plus b. 6a plus b, x squared e raised to x. And then next, ano naman yung may mga x e to the x? Ito yon, 6a plus, walang a. So 2b plus 2b, 4b. 6a plus 4b plus c. 6a plus 4b plus c. X e raised to x. And finally, ano ang may mga e raised to x? Ang e raised to x, ito lang. 2b plus 2c. 2b plus 2c e raised to x. Okay, so we're good to go. Pwede na nating pagsamahin yung yp at saka y double prime p. Sulat ko lang dito yung yp. Diba yung yp natin is ax cubed e to the x plus ax squared. Mali. Not a, it should be b. E raised to x plus c x e raised to x. Ang sabi kanina ng equation is y double prime minus y. So, yp double prime minus yp equals, so this minus that, 0 na siya. Tapos dito sa x squared, magka-cancel yung b. Ang matitira na lang 6a. So, 6a x squared e raised to x. Tapos dito sa x e to the x, nawawala yung c. So, may matitirang 6a plus 4b times x e raised to x. And for this, wala naman siyang kagaya eh. Kaya, kopyahin lang natin, no? 2b plus 2c e raised to x equals, saan daw siya equal? From the original given, x squared e raised to x. So, pwede na tayo ngayon mag-equating coefficients, diba? Here, the coefficient of x squared e to the x is 6a. So, 6a equals, the coefficient of this is 1. Therefore, a is 1/6, right? And for b, so if I solve for b, I will use this one. 6a plus 4b equals, dito wala naman tayong x e to the x, kaya 0. So, b is just 1/4 of negative 6a, right? So, that's 1/4 of negative 6 times a, which is 1/6. Cancel yung 6, so ang sagot, negative 1/4. Next, for c, 2b plus 2c equals 0. Kasi wala naman tayong term dito na e to the x lang, right? So that means, from this equation, dividing both sides of the equation by 2, so I'll have c is equal to negative of b. Kaya yung c na makukuha natin is negative of negative 1/4, positive 1/4. Ayan, kompleto na yung A, B, at saka C. Makakakuha na tayo ngayon ng general solution. Sulat natin dito. General solution. Okay, i-add lang natin ha, yung YC na C1 e raised to x plus C2 e raised to negative x. Yan yun. And then yung YP. Ito yung YP natin. Tapos ilalagay lang natin yung values ng A, B, at saka C. So for A, the value is 1/6. So plus 1/6 x cubed e raised to x. The value of B is negative 1/4, right? Ito yon. So negative 1/4 x squared e raised to x. And finally, for C, we have 1/4 x e raised to x. So there you go. This is the general solution of the given differential equation na meron tayo. Ilang terms ba to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 terms yung meron ka sa general solution mo. Medyo mahaba. Remember, your general solution has two components or parts. These first two terms is your complementary solution, and these last three terms is your particular integral. Okay? So, kung napansin nyo, the method could be quite lengthy depending on the problem. May mga problem na madali lang. Nakita naman ninyo, nagkasya sa isang slide lang yung unang 4 na examples. But, there are times when the problem could have a lengthy solution just like this one. Kailan siya magiging lengthy? Kapag meron tayong complication, ayan, gumamit tayo ng modification rule. Tapos yung function natin, product of functions pa. Diba? So, all you need is to practice para masanay ka. And, careful sa pagdi-differentiate. Bakit po? Kasi yung mga derivatives na yan, magkamali ka ng isang derivative, sigurado ako bali na yan hanggang dulo. That is why you need to practice a lot. And for you to practice, I will give you some exercise problems. O yan, pwede nyo nang i-screenshot. And then, after mong magpahinga, kapag ganado ka na ulit, pwede ka nang mag-practice, mag-solve ng mga problems na ito so that when the quiz comes, when the long quiz comes, you are prepared and ready kahit na mahaba pa yung solution. So, all you need to do is to practice. Okay? So, that would be all for this video. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye!